Well, Microsoft's $69 billion bid to buy the game maker Activision looks set to go ahead after a US federal judge sided with the tech giant over the objections of federal regulators. Now, the Federal Trade Commission, which enforces laws against companies gaining monopolies over markets, could not convince the court that Microsoft's purchase would harm consumers or even degrade market competition. Activision has made some blockbuster games like Call of Duty, which are now available on both Microsoft's Xbox and Sony's PlayStation consoles. Now, the FTC argued that Microsoft's acquiring of Activision would give it an unfair advantage over competitors, but Microsoft said the market for games is big enough for competition to continue. Let's get more on this now with Naeem Aslam in London. He's a Chief Investment Officer at Zai Capital Markets. Welcome to the programme. Just help us understand a bit more about the reasons why Microsoft and Activision wanted this deal in the first place.
Sure, thanks for having me. I think one of the key reasons you've already highlighted, and that is a fair competition. With Microsoft controlling the gaming market with its massive player, Xbox player already in the market, and it's a very strong and dominant place. I think competition is a major concern for many of the lawmakers. Of course, I can't go into too much of the details because of the conflict of interest that we have for this particular transaction. But generically speaking, I think from the lawmakers' perspective, it is a transaction which could perhaps reduce the competition and give Microsoft more power in terms of the pricing of those particular products. And of course, not to mention the data which comes on the back of that.
And Naeem, what would be the impact on the consumers then of this new purchase? And will it mean lower prices or even more flexibility with their purchases across different consoles? What's in it for them?
I think there is this particular argument of economies of scale. So with Microsoft going all in with the massive coffins that it has in terms of cash and what it can, its army of developers and all its ambitions, that we could certainly see some price momentum in favor of consumers, especially when everyone else is very much struggling with the cost of living crisis. Everyone else is struggling with inflation. And speaking of inflation, one of the most important economic number will be released today, which everyone will be watching. And I'm sure Microsoft, Activision, all these particular companies, they do pay close attention to the inflation data and how they make decisions going into the transactions like this.
Naeem, fantastic to speak to you. Naeema Aslan, Chief CIO of Zai Capital Markets, live there from London. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, let's go now to other top stories, business stories from around the world. And Iraq has agreed to swap crude oil for Iranian gas in a bid to end the supply crisis that hit electricity production in the country. Iraq has been holding gas payments in a bank account since Iran came under US sanctions that only allow Tehran to access funds to buy food and medicine. Now, earlier this month, Iran had cut gas deliveries by more than half due to unpaid bills of more than $12 billion. Saudi Arabia's Public Investment Fund has declared a loss of almost $11 billion in 2022 compared to a profit of $19 billion in the previous year. The investment fund is the main vehicle in the kingdom's efforts to diversify its economy away from a reliance on oil revenues. In 2022, Saudi Arabia splurged $7 billion on US stocks, including Starbucks, Zoom, Amazon and Alphabet. And Indian IT services provider Wipro has announced its plans to invest $1 billion into artificial intelligence over the next 3 years. The investments will focus on the expansion of AI, big data, analytics solutions, new research and development and platforms. The decision comes almost a week after rival company Tata Consultancy Services revealed its plans to train 25,000 engineers to get them certified on Microsoft's Azure OpenAI.